Good YouTubing, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. We really do appreciate it. And as always, we'd like to thank our viewers, subscribers, and our members, because without you, we're not us. Let's talk about McFarlane Toys, Mortal Kombat Classic, Sub-Zero, and MILEENA 2-pack. This is available for pre-order at McFarlane Toy Store for $69.99 plus shipping. Let me know if you're going to pick this figure up. You like the 2-pack? You like the characters? Let us know. But right now, let's roll them off the stand and let's get started. Let's go ahead and measure her up. We'll measure both of them. Let's go do MILEENA first on the inches. Here we go. All right. It looks like she'll be just right under 7 inches, right over 6.5. Right. Okay. And that'll do it for her. Let's do Sub-Zero. Okay, we'll go ahead and put him on the inches. There he is. He's sitting right at 7. Maybe a tad bit over, but he's right at 7 inches. That's where they're at. That's where they're standing. And that's what we're working with today. Okay, for the packaging, we've seen this before with the single ones, but now you're going to have that arcade style where the double bottom there, you can see the double panel there. That's going to be like the arcades. That's like 2 players. So that's pretty cool. That's just like the arcades there. But looking at the front, you see Mortal Kombat Classic right there at the front. You see Fight in the middle. And of course, you see both the figure and their accessories inside the bubble. Plus, you'll have their stands and you'll have the mini diorama in the back, which is a little bit bigger than the single packaging with the single figures, right? Okay, so looking at the side panels, you do have the Mortal Kombat logo with the lightning coming down and McFarlane Toys. And of course, on the other side, it's the same thing. And if you look at the top of the packaging, you'll have an open cutout looking down at the figures in a little window, right? So let's flick over to the back side. You can see you have the classic look. This is going to be from the video game when you're choosing your characters, or looking at the bio, you'll have the full look there. And you can see that it has Battle 1, both the characters. You can see it has the combat zone, which is the pit 2, and the portal, which is our Mortal Kombat 2, right? Of course. And you see that there, and that will do it for the packaging. Okay, for the inside of the packaging, you do have the same diorama as the other small boxes, but it's just quite larger for both figures. You can see it there. Take a look at that photo. You can see how it fits pretty decent. And also, you have the main dioramas they have, which is a lot smaller, but here they are. You're going to have the portal. That'll be first. That's the portal, Mortal Kombat 2, right? That looks pretty good, actually. And then you'll have the pit, right? Set it up the way you like. And there you have it. And there are a few photos there. You can look at those photos, see how they fit. You see that? They fit pretty decent to me. I like them. And there you have it for the inside of the packaging. Okay, so let's go ahead and scale her up. We'll go ahead and put her twin sister in there, right? Katana. Let's go ahead and put Dad in there. Goes Dad. There he is. Great figure. There goes Pops. And let's go ahead and throw a larger figure in, just because. We'll go ahead and throw Kentaro, because he's part of Mortal Kombat 2. There he is. How's that look there? Such a big guy. Right? Okay, so you see how it looks. I think it looks great. You got the figures there. Shao Kahn, Kentaro, Sub-Zero, and Katana, and MILEENA. So the figures do look pretty decent on the scale. The Storm Collectible with the Shao Kahn and the Kentaro, they look pretty decent, of course. Storm Collectibles did well when they had the line. They just took too long on pushing them out. But you get the idea on the size of the figures. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the appearance. We'll take a look at Sub-Zero first. Okay. Looking at Sub-Zero, if you look at the mask here, right? So this is very interesting. So McFarlane did right on the mask, but if you look at it, you see it's cloth, right? So when he's fighting, as you can see, if he's fighting in the game, he has the cloth mask on, right? That's when he's fighting in the game. But when you're picking the character and you're selecting him, or he's in the bio, he'll have the other mask on. Let me show it real quick. He'll have this one on just when you're picking the character or when you're reading the bio. That's it. He doesn't have it on. None of the ninjas do. when they're playing in-game. In-game, they have this, right? Not this. Kind of strange. I just saw that when I was looking at the game. I just saw the cloth mask, and then, like I said before, the graded mask is when you're selecting or on the bio. So let's take a look at him here. You see that he has the ninja suit. This is the ninja suit from Mortal Kombat 2. It's not part 1 at all. This is part 2. In part 1 had the more cloth look with the cloth mask, but this one has the kind of grazed material with the cloth mask, which is correct, right? So let's take a look at from the head here. You see how it goes over his head, just like the traditional ninja. And then you see the eyes, eyebrows, and then look at the cloth itself. Not cloth, it's just sculpted and then painted this bluish color, and you throw off some white to make that accent, right? You can see that there, head sculpted very well. Same there, and then you paint it black to give it that suit look around the neck. Also as well, going to the gi, that looks really good. And of course, the traditional classic kind of grazed material here for the blue. That looks very well there, right? Okay, look at the backside. The paint is done very well. It's not bad. I don't think so, not at all. There you go, you see it? Okay, then you have the belt. Kind of cheesy on the belt. It's not, I wouldn't say cheesy, but it could have been, you know, maybe some PVC plastic just going all the way around, something loose, but those can tend to break, but it does look fairly decent, right? You see that? And then you look at the arms, you'd have the flesh color with some tone of muscle. And also on this side, you do have the tone of muscle. You do have a bandana around the arms, black. And then you see the iced out arms, right? There you go. And you can see the gauntlets on the arms too with the ice, right? Hands there. And those will be his punch hands, the only punch hands he comes with. There you go. And let's look toward the bottom of the gi. You do have that grazed material here hanging, black on the pants, kind of ruffled up, right? And then you have the shin guards, the traditional shin guards, that classic shin guard from the ninjas, right? I think that's pretty decent there. It looks spot on, right? You got it painted blue, got little scuff marks. There you go with the shin guards. And then you got your ninja foot, right? There you go. Okay, so the appearance of the figure looks pretty good. I would say not like MK2, because what they do with this, they make it too figurey. If that makes a, if I can say that, too figurey. They, you know, in the game they're more old school, so it should have been that old school. Pop the picture up there. It's more like that old school look. You don't get it. This is more. It looks new school. It doesn't look old school. If you look at the old school, they kind of look more 90s look. This is more traditional, maybe 2011 look, right? But it's still pretty decent figure. Okay, like how the eyes are, that's pretty nice. Let's get my close view. Get this light here. Let's get this going. You got it? Let me tap this. Get this close view going. There you go, you see that? It's done very well. Okay, and that'll do it for Sub-Zero. Not bad, Sub. Okay, from MILEENA. Shaking the camera there, sorry about that. Okay, MILEENA is, okay, she's done, for me, she's done okay. Before the fact that, one, you don't have the PVC plastic sticking up here for the boots. You should have done that, not just the paint. Disappointing there. But if you look at her face, everything's great there. You see how the paint, bandana, eyes, brown eyes, white inside, and then you see the mouth, and you just paint, sculpt that up and just paint it, just like the hair, painted black. We've seen that with Katana, right? Same exact figure, just repainted, right? Not bad. But what I'm talking about is, if you look at the picture here that's coming up, you see how she's got this short bottom, the underwear or the tire here, it's real short. Well, in the pixelated game, back in the 90s, it was coming at a V shape here. It would come down at a V shape. This is coming more up like panties. That's what it looked like. She didn't wear panties. She wore like a gym outfit, like from the 90s. If you look at the 90s, that gym outfit, it comes to a V. It comes all the way down to a V here, not short like underwear. There you go. That they didn't do that correctly at all. But if you look at it, it's not bad. So looking at the colors here, you're going with the kind of hot pink. That's what I'm seeing. But if you look at the game, you're going to have that purplish color in the game. It should be purple. in the how the is in the game, right? There you go, and there it is. You have the black lining, all pinkish, hot pinkish, black lining here, black belt. All that stuff looks pretty decent. Nothing to the figure. You see it? Nothing really to it, but it does look fairly good, I think. Looking at her eyes, let's take a look at her eyes again. See that brown there? That looks pretty good. Sculpting is great. The paint's not bad. Like I said, PVC plastic in the boots will be nice. But there you have it. There are her fists. The only fist she has. And there's the rest. You see the black lining around all the hot pink, right? Boots. There you go. Nothing to it. Just very basic. It is the same figure as Katana, the exact same figure, just a different color, right? Okay, but she doesn't look bad. Could be better, but not bad. Okay, and that'll do it for the appearance. Sub-Zero, what are you doing? Okay, so let's take a look at the accessories. For MILEENA, she'll get both her sides. She'll get the ones that she uses for fatalities, which is silver, and she'll get her translucent ones that she throws on the ground or in the air. Plus, you'll get an extra pair of hands that'll hold those weapons and an extra head portrait, right? Okay, for Sub-Zero, he'll get an extra head portrait, an extra pair of hands to hold his weapons. He'll get an extra spine that's frozen with a ball and socket, so you can put somebody else's head on there and do a fatality. He also has a spine with the head that's frozen, and he also has an ice effect coming out of the hand. Not very great. We'll see that once we look at it, but that will do it for their accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at Sub-Zero stuff first. We'll take a look at his accessories first. We'll start with his head portrait, right? As you can see him there, you got the regular head portrait with the cloth, right? You see it, okay? Let's look at the head here. Okay, so this head portrait I am a fan of. It looks really good. Yeah, so you see that the head is all black on top. You sculpt it, get it there, making it look like leather or whatnot on top. You see the eyebrows, and you see the mask itself. It's carved very well and painted very well. No complaints on this here, right? That looks fairly good. Let's get that close. Yeah. What do you think, guys? I think it looks fantastic. Not a bad job. The eyes look good as well. Not bad on the paint, so not bad there. Good job. Okay, so that's that on the head portrait. Okay, so let's take a look at his pair of hands. We'll just do one. I mean, they're kind of I would say they're that much different. One's a little more like holding something. One's got more of a tighter grip, and one's got a loose grip. We'll look at the tighter grip first, just to see what's going on with that, right? Okay, here we are. There is your tighter grip. You see it there? That's for him to hold something. He pulls it out of your head. That's the old spine. That's it. But it looks really good. It really does. I'm a fan of it because it's got this cold look to it. Like it's frozen, fully solid ice. Do like it. Good job on that. Got it? You see it? See it? Let me get closer. There we go. See that? Not bad. Okay. All right. You want to look at the other one? We'll do it. Let's take a look at the other hand. It's not too much different, but hey, let's look at it. Okay. Don't mind all this. Just look at the hand. Okay. There we go. It's not too bad. Right? And that matches his arm because they're frozen as well, but that looks fairly good. So, there you go. Okay. Not bad, right? So let's look at the effect with the hand that I'm not a fan of. If you take a look at this, I'm gonna let you know why I'm not a fan, but look at this. It's coming out of his hand. It's like coming out of his hand. It's not that never happened. He might have thrown an ice ball with it, with the ice ball fatality. But if you look at it, it's not that great. It's distorted. It's just, you can't really tell what's what. But you can see it. It's there. It's coming out of his hands like so, but he never shot ice like that. On Mortal Kombat 2, he shot ice to the ground with both of his hands like this. He shot it to the ground. Or he shot straight like that. He never shot it like this. Only time he shot like this, when he shot the ball and it went in your body and blew up. That's the only time. But other than that, not a fan of this. This is This is terrible. Very, very terrible. It doesn't even look good. Yeah, that's not that great. Let's get a closer look. There you go. Look at this. Look at all that. You'd have to paint that some, put some wash to it just so you can see what the grooves are. Not a fan. Okay. Next up, you do have the skull. I like that. You have the skull with the spine. There you go. Skull with the spine there. That's pretty basic. I don't know what's more you can do to that than to make it what it is. Right? Translucent. You could put some blue light to it just to make it look a little, I don't know, come to life. But there you have it. Right? Okay. Not much to it. All right. And here's the other one with the ball and socket. Yeah, the ball and socket. Okay. There you go. Ball and socket. Put a head on top. As a matter of fact, let's do this. We'll put his on there just to show you. And it snaps on a little, pretty decent. It snaps on and you can just hold it and fatality, right? Okay. Not bad there. Good job. Okay. And that will do it for his accessories. Let's take a look at MILEENA's accessories. So if you look at the characters in the back there, you saw the appearance of them. MILEENA's head sculpt is strange to me. Okay, because look what I have to do. I don't like it. You have to take the ball off and then you got to take her hair off. Not a fan of that. So she's here laying down. I had her looking nice. So now I have to put that hair back on, right? The hair back on. And then there's a ball and socket that's in her neck. Take this off, right? And then put this on. It just seems like a lot just to do. And I tried so hard to put this thing on because the ball and socket on here is very tough. I've lost it twice inside and it's just been hectic. It hasn't been good. Okay, I think I got it on. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so she's in there. You see it. Okay, so let me take that off again there. Okay, so we got that. So let's look at her head portrait first. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. I got all this cloth everywhere, dude. Okay, let's put this right. Let's do this right. There we go. Okay, there we are. There she is. Okay. Now, when I was looking at it, I thought it was all just paint, no grooves. I was disappointed. So I'm so happy that they did this figure. I've been wanting them to do this figure for so long. I didn't think we were ever going to get it, and I can't believe we did. And I thought they did terrible on the mouth. I was like, oh, they just painted on some crap. Nope, they didn't paint on. It just it got a little bit of detail coming through there. Let's see if I can do that. And you can see that there is minor detail, right? You see that? The detail's there. I mean, it could be a little bit better, but it's not bad. Look at her eyes. It's not bad. When you look at it closely, you can see that it's not bad. Now, if you could poke inside there, it was hollow inside there, that would be something different, right? Yes, it would. So there you have it. The eyes are great. One of my favorite characters besides Scorpion. I love MILEENA. I've been waiting for her. And waiting for her and waiting for her. And I do not know why they don't make her because she's an awesome character. Don't know why they don't make her, but there you see it. There it is. It looks really good. Not too bad, right? Just like she does in the game Mortal Kombat 2. Okay, that's that for that head portrait. I'm gonna go ahead and snap this head portrait back on if I can. I'm gonna snap it back on. There you go. And have her in the form the way she was, just like she is now. Let's see if I can stand her up. I might not be able to. There she is. Okay, so you seen that there. So let's take a look at her hands. You got closed hands. You got one kind of a trigger light, but these are so she can hold her size. Okay, here's one of them. Yep, there's the hands. Okay, nothing to it. Pink. Nothing to it. Right? There goes your hand. Okay, here's the other one. All right, there's the other one. The job's not bad. There it goes. Whoa. Okay, gloves. All right, so let's take a look at her size. You can see I try to mimic her throwing the size, put a little tape on the wall, but hey, it works. So let's look at the silver ones first, or the ones that she throws. Let's do that. Okay, this will be the ones that she throws. Here they are. Okay, translucent. She gets over there. She gets like kind of a pose and she throws them, right? There you go. Not too bad, huh? Got them up close here. There you go. There you go. Okay, not too bad. The translucent is pretty cool. These could glow too if you have some lighting and you want to do some nice poses. Put some light towards it and hit it. These will come out. These will come to life. Yeah, they'll be there. Okay, got those. Let's look at the other ones. This is where she does her work with on the ground. All right, there they are. And this one she flips and she holds them up like that. I love that. My favorite. Love it. Okay, there they are. All silver. Nothing to it, right? Okay, and that will do it for the accessory. Okay, so let's check out the points of articulation. We'll start with MILEENA first. The POA. Let's go. Okay, the head is on a ball and socket, right? We showed that because of the fact that it's interchangeable. The way they've done it, very strange, but it is on a ball and socket. The ball and socket's on both ends. One end fits, one end rotates. It works on each end of the head. So the head movements are pretty decent. You're gonna have nice ups and downs. The ups will be limited because the hair, depending on how you want to flex this hair, you can kind of heat this hair up and you'll be able to do some ups with it, which is pretty decent. But your tilts are gonna be there, rotation, you're fine with that. You'll be able to do poses, right? Okay, so looking at the arms, they're gonna be on flies and they're gonna also have their ball and socket as well. And they do rotate, right? Fly, rotate, and they're on a ball and socket. You do have your bicep swivel is there. You do have the double jointed arms, of course, those hinges there. And that's the same on both sides of the figure. The upper sternum has rotations. You don't have anything in the lower, so no lower rotations, but you do upper. So this upper sternum rotation is pretty good for punching moves or whatnot. You're on the click flies there. You see that. Also, the figure has the hands that have rotations because for the fact that they are interchangeable and they do have latches of their own, right? Got their own latches there. Pretty awesome. You do have the double jointed knees here, right? So those will go all the way in without an issue. Bring them out. Same on both sides. And you'll also have the foot that do rotate. They do have latches of their own. And they do have the pivot in the toe. Right? So that's pretty cool. And they do sit on some form of rocker. It's not an awesome rocker, but you can see that it sits on somewhat of a rocker for the fact that I can see that this is moving on a rocker area, right? So that's pretty decent there, right? Okay, not bad at all. We'll set him down, her down, and we'll go to Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, we're waiting on you, man. Your articulation. Let's see what you got, buddy. Okay, head, ball, and socket, of course. Same thing we talked about with MILEENA. It's the same ball and socket. You got a ball here, ball down there. Both of them in, you can rotate them, right? So rotations here are fine all around. You got it. Oh, there goes that ball and socket. I did drop that head, and I don't know where it went. Yep, I found it. Bear with me. MILEENA's over there like, hey, what the heck is going on? Okay, so yes, you see the ball and socket there. Ball and socket in the head. That's what you got. Let me snap it on. There we go. It's in sort of in there, but there you have it. Okay. All right. So we know our motions. We have tilts, we have downs, we have ups. No problem, right? Okay. So your arms also on the, you see the flies there. They're also in a ball and socket that snaps in. So they do rotate. Not a problem there. You do have you cut there for your bicep swivel. Double jointed arms is there. Okay. That's same on both sides. And you do have your hands that rotate and they have latches of their own and they're interchangeable. No surprise there. Do have movements a little bit in the middle. It's nothing crazy. And actually nothing's there. Not at all. You do have movements you can roll with, but it doesn't seem like it's worth doing at all. Okay. Nice on the arms. Do love the arms. Okay. Click flies there. We see it. Yep, there you have it. Double jointed knees. Got them. And you do have the latches in the ankle there. And they do sit on rockers. Yep, and they have the pivot in the toe. In the ninja toe, right? So there you have it. Not too much to it. I would say this is still $19.99. And that will do it for the articulation. Okay, for my pros and cons. I don't have any cons. I like the figure. You have the accessories. You have the figures. They look good. The articulation is nice. I mean, I would say you would need a little more accessories, but this looks pretty decent. For me, I like the figures. I don't have any issue with them. I like the articulation. I like the accessories. I do like the way the figures are painted, and they do move fairly decent. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and give this figure a 4 out of 5 stars. Guys, let me know what your stars are. And you guessed it, you can get it at McFarlaneToyStore.com. Just check out McFarlaneToyStore.com. So what are you waiting for? Check them out. And this brings us to the end of our video. If you found the video informational or you just simply enjoyed watching, please hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe button. And as always, this has been another toy review. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.